Japan is a unique nation known for its cherry blossoms, Mount Fuji, anime, and cutting-edge technology, but it's also home to some incredibly strange and occasionally amazing concepts and items that are unmatched anywhere else on Earth. From a square watermelon to an island full of bunnies, these are 10 things that can only be seen in Japan. Number 10. Now, if you're a modern Japanese gentleman who is extremely busy with work, it can be very difficult to find time to have a girlfriend. Clearly, in a nation that has developed innovative and practical solutions to many contemporary issues, there is a distinctive Japanese response. Renting a girlfriend, a family, a middle-aged man, a pretend grandpa, or pretty much any version of a person you may require is a new but increasingly popular thing to do in Japan. Don't be misled, this isn't a dating app or the oldest profession, rather, it's a service where a young woman posing as your girlfriend is only available to engage in the purest and wholesome activities as your companion. She will act like your girlfriend, holding your hand, sharing your pudding, and laughing at all of your jokes, but she won't engage in any more fruitful activities. She will go to the office party with you or perhaps to dinner. She will meet your mother, but she won't attend to your more private needs. Number 9. The insanity of Japanese game shows is legendary throughout the rest of the world. These shows are unlike anything produced in the United States. Even the more daring bug-eating outdoor survival types of shows pale in comparison to the insanity of Japanese game shows nowadays. These shows primarily focus on placing their contestants in extremely embarrassing situations, but there is a staggering variety of ways to do weird or embarrassing things to these people because they are meant to be as outrageous and strange as possible. Basically, this is the idea. One of the most common types of game shows is the punishment, or batsu, in which losers are made to endure the matter or more humiliating forfeit that is usually connected to this kind of entertainment. Some of the most absurd things that can be found on popular shows are slippery stairs, where participants attempt to climb an extremely steep flight of stairs, imagine the comedy. Or the infamous wall of boxes, a game show where players must outlast their rivals and remain on the rickety wall of boxes while everything around them tries to knock them down. Another well-liked physical game is Human Tetris, which is exactly what it sounds like. However, this is not the only show that centers around eating. There are many others. One such show is called Candy or Not Candy, in which players must try eating objects to decide whether or not they are candies. Nothing about this game show madness is particularly complicated. In fact, the hints are all in the names, don't they? Other examples include eating food in strange places and noodles in a washing machine. The only thing limiting the madness are the sadists who create it, some of whom seem to be quite insane. Number 8. We are starting to prove that Japan operates a little bit differently. Next on the list, of course, is the Japanese island of Hashimoto, which was abandoned in the 1970s after supporting a 5,000-person community centered around the mines that once drove the island's economy. Since then, the island has found a new use that gives day trippers the chills. Yes, this is a ghost island that attracts tour boats full of people seeking an unsettling experience. Many of the island's structures are in such serious disrepair that they could collapse, so the days of eerie independent exploration are long gone. Shuffling around in a group of straw hats wearing geriatrics may just be the edge of fear factor as long as you don't miss the return boat crossing back over, that is. If you want to take in the crumbling sights of Ashima, you have to take a tour, which has probably not unveiled some of the more scary aspects of the adventure. Still, it looks kind of like the scene of a zombie apocalypse. Number 7. I love watermelon, but I've often wondered, and I'm sure you have, too, why these fruits are limited to such uninteresting round shapes. It's definitely time to add some fun to a fruit, so why not start by giving it a more interesting shape? Japan is clearly leading the way in the fruit format revolution and taking it very seriously. In fact, fruit is a serious business in Japan. There is a grading system that allows the highest quality, perfectly formed specimens to command extremely high prices and are frequently given as thoughtful and respectful gifts. The idea behind the square watermelon was initially to make the awkward fruit more manageable, so it would fit in the fridge better and cut into neater pieces. However, as the appeal of this shape became apparent, those with a passion for fruit fiddling found ever more fancy ways to tidy up the fruit basket. Nowadays, a perfectly formed square watermelon can set you back as much as $160. It seems like there are some wallets that are just ripe for the picking. Japanese farmers have therefore developed a way to produce square watermelons as well as other pretty shapes like hearts and triangles. Number 6. Now, if you want your food to have as many additives and foreign words in it as possible, this is the dish for you. Traditional ice cream recipes call for fairly basic ingredients like cream, sugar, and other food items. However, isn't that a bit boring? Instead of sticking to the tried and true method of freezing the product and then eating it before it liquefies, why not add a few extra ingredients to achieve the completely unnecessary and utterly ridiculous feature of non-melting? It's the addition of the appetizing-sounding polyphenol liquid that adds the magic here. This liquid solidifies dairy cream on contact, preventing the water and oil components of the food from separating and allowing the cream to maintain its shape for a longer period of time. So, if you're the type of person who tends to forget their ice cream or take your time eating, you can take your time and the cream won't melt. This is exactly what we've all been waiting for, isn't it? I'm delighted that science is occupied with all the crucial things you know. Number 5. The Japanese word for cute, Kawai, gave rise to a whole slew of characters, cartoons, toys, outfits, stationery merchandise, and even lifestyle choices. The level of cuteness here is unmatched by any other place on the planet. While many aspects of Kawaii culture are taken to an extreme in Japan, there is a whole subculture where people actually dress like Nintendo characters, something that people in the United States might find cute. Kawaii culture is a uniquely Japanese phenomenon that has recently started to be exported, albeit in small parts, to other countries in the Western world. Along with the clothes, hairdo, and accessories, it also calls for immature and overly adorable behaviors. These individuals turn into the characters. The mascot is another element of kawaii that permeates everyday life in Japan. Each region appears to have its own mascot, which is typically a cute but occasionally eerie character that is said to represent that location. Of course, this simplifies the selling of souvenirs, but it also speaks to the peculiarly Japanese attitude toward the culture of the cute. Cute characters and kawaii styles can be found everywhere, from pop stars' advertisements to cafe culture. Number 4. The inland sea of Japan, the island of Okinoshima, is home to thousands of wild rabbits. These adorable balls of fluff are left to their own devices, which is generally how rabbits breed, as you may know. This is a strange and incredibly cute example of Japan's kawaii obsession in action. One of the favorite things to do when visiting is to interact with the rabbits and lie on the ground while they hop all over you. It sounds cute, but the sheer amount of bunnies makes me uneasy. This reminds me of a scene from a horror movie, even though thousands of bunnies crawling all over you sounds harmless. Number 3. Shiyama Grove is a strange-looking location close to Tokyo that, if you can escape getting poked in the eye by a selfie stick, promises to be a unique experience, even if you have to share it with a gazillion other tourists. The only use of the bamboo grove is taking photography and strolling around to take in the sight of the tall and slightly eerie bamboo shoots. It is only an ornamental environment. Undoubtedly, a plethora of Instagram photographs showcase this ostensibly unique setting. It is quite picturesque, particularly when illuminated for the night or when the throng disperses momentarily. Number 2. Now, if you've ever wondered what it might be like to wake up inside of a morgue, the Capsule Hotel might be the experience you've been waiting for in the ever-shrinking spaces of Japanese cities. The Capsule Hotel has taken limited size to the extremes of what's actually tolerable. Certainly, sleeping in a 7x3x4 foot cubicle is slightly larger than sleeping in a coffin, but only slightly. Additionally, considering that an average hotel room in Tokyo can cost up to $225 per night, the $25 price tag for a strange corridor of cupboards might help ease the coffin vibes a tiny bit. Number 1. Hitachi Seaside Park is a very popular and very unique Japanese tourist destination with over 3.5 hectares of space. The year-round planting is visually stunning with literally millions of brightly colored flowers blooming at any given moment. It is most famous for the season when its displays of blue Nemophila flowers create breathtaking scenes with more than 4.5 million of these things across the whole park, as well as these spectacular and completely gigantic displays. The park's extraordinary manicured landscape looks as though it's landed from a Star Trek planet or possibly even Tim Burton's imagination overlooking the Pacific Ocean. This location offers everything you would probably anticipate from an outdoor tourist attraction, including the customary gardens, entertainment, and family-friendly activities. However, you can also count on taking some unusual photos for your Instagram feed, which is really the whole purpose of all of this, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I'm feeling motivated to plan a trip to Japan so that I can see some of these strange and fascinating things for myself. I wonder what else there is to learn. If you've been to Japan, tell me about your amazing and unique experiences there in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to check out the other cool stuff that's on our channel. See you next time.